there, Brittany here, and I'm so excited to bring you this video. This has been on my heart for so long, and I'm just gonna get right to it. So this video is all about how to start your spiritual journey because it has had such a profound, just awesomeness in my life that I feel so many more women could experience more joy, more happiness, more self-love if they started their own spiritual journey. And I'm also in a group, a pretty large group, where I see this question asked a lot. So I wanted to make a super quick but brief video, super quick and brief video on how to start your spiritual journey in a nice kind of structured way so you're not all over the place. I was trying to think of a good word. Structured is kind of a loose way I like to put it because everyone's spiritual journey is different, but I notice it's very easy to get lost in starting your spiritual journey as well as just rediscovering yourself. So I notice I find people try to rediscover themselves, start their spiritual journey, do shadow work, do all these things at one time, and it generally leaves you burned out, which is what I've done to myself before. And so let's get started. So I want to have a disclaimer here before I get started. Starting your spiritual journey is not the answer or cure-all to any mental illnesses or anything going on with your body. Starting your spiritual journey is like a benefit or a supplement to what you're doing. So if you do suffer from anxiety, depression, and you are taking medicine, this is not like a quit everything and start your spiritual journey and everything will be fixed. Continue doing what you're doing, but deepen your spiritual journey to have a better connection with yourself, and who knows, maybe beautiful things do happen. It certainly has helped me with my anxiety and my depression, so it does help. Certainly not a cure. I just wanted to get that out and in the open. So I'm just checking my notes here, and I'm also checking the mirror to make sure I'm in focus. So the first step, and one more thing, you may hear some like loosely places like just start your spiritual journey. One thing that I've learned being on my own spiritual journey, having my ups and lows, highs and lows, is that I wish I was more prepared when I started my spiritual journey so that I wouldn't feel so all over the place. And so the 3 or 4 steps that I'm about to walk you through, the first 3 steps are like the foundation to starting your spiritual journey, and then the step 4 is kind of like blossoming into that journey. So the first step in starting your spiritual journey is eradicating your past, or what I like to call clearing the murky waters. So a lot of us all came from somewhere, right? We're all born at some day, and we've gone through some things during childhood, teenagehood, early adulthood, wherever you are in your life. There have been some things that we've picked up beliefs on that have traumatized us, and when we don't clear the murky water, as I like to call it, or eradicate the past, it can keep us from truly enjoying our spiritual journey because we're always living in the loops of those beliefs from the past. So what's awesome about eradicating your past is you get clarity and you're able to release instead of living in the cycles. And then when you get clear on your past, on what happened to you, on why some of the ways you act the way you do, you can get real insight on the patterns you create. So just some examples I have are, you might notice that you have been told to be quiet a lot when you were a child, or you weren't heard or you weren't seen. So when it comes to you becoming an adult and someone asks you how you feel, you shut down. Or it could be you weren't heard enough as a child, so you yell a lot now, or you overtalk because you don't know why you do it, but there's this underlying past belief that you have to do these things. So that's where eradicating your past comes really handy, because this also ties into the shadow work loop that I see and I've done myself, where you're constantly trying to work the loop, but you're not really healing it and moving past from it. So I love eradicating your past because it gets you clarity and you can release and move on, right? We're always learning and we're always on the journey, so it's not saying you're going to do it one time and like everything comes up and then you're done. However, it gives you a container for that shadow work to get clarity, release it, and keep it moving. Because I see a lot of people get stuck here in this past part. You're always trying to rewrite the past and get clarity and closure from people who were never going to give it to them. But I'm here to give you permission that it's okay to release the past, and it's okay to also get clarity from the past and what that meant to you and what it means for you now. But you're also safe to let it go, and I actually invite you to let it go, because the past is the past. We cannot change it, but we can, get clarity on it. So the second step is the mindset reset. And I find this one super important because the mind represents the sword in tarot. If you haven't known yet, I'm a tarot reader, oracle reader, and what I really love about the mind correlating with the sword is it can be used both ways, right? You can use the sword to cut through all the negative thoughts, or like the extra jungle, using the machete cutting through, or is the sword of your mind cutting you, right? As someone with a lot of air in my birth chart, I have one of my biggest, I would say, life hurdles was getting over negative thoughts. Like, when I say our mind are like swords, literally, it's just like that. I would have thoughts that would make me feel good, or thoughts that don't make me feel good. Now I've trained my brain to focus on the better feeling thoughts, but that is something that comes with starting your spiritual journey and getting to know yourself. And so just keep that in mind. This is why we need a mindset reset, because just like eradicating the past, those things have created beliefs inside of us. So it creates beliefs and then patterns that we're trying to break. So in order to eradicate that past, we need to mindset reset some of those unhealthy beliefs. And it does take some time, but it's totally worth it. And that's a part of the spiritual work, is choosing to not further things that no longer serve you, to let go of patterns that longer serve you. It really makes a difference. And so number 3 is a total body makeover, or what I like to call a total body reset. So I noticed that if you can get your body on board, you can generally get your mind on board, but I find that things come a lot easier when you get your mind on board first. So that's why I like the mindset reset. And then once you can show your mind, like, yes, you can shift, yes, you can change, I invite you to do the same with your body, because I see a lot of women trying to lose weight when really it's an energetic, a spiritual need that they're missing, and they're trying to mask it with weight loss. Well, if I lost weight, I would be happy, or if I changed the way I look, I would be happy. That's a really deep sign that it's something deeper than the weight itself. So, and to let you know, our bodies are here to help us. They're our dream building vessel. They're the way we make things manifest. That's how we create our magic, is with our bodies. We go to work, we eat, we think with our bodies, right? Like, our bodies are aware of what we think about it. So those negative thoughts, the beliefs about yourself, how you look, your body knows. And one thing that really stands out for me, it also knows how you prioritize yourself. So I kind of went through this little dark moment where I wasn't putting my priorities first in the morning. I wasn't doing my practice, but still teaching. And I almost felt encumbered by negative thoughts and beliefs. And I'm just like, where is this coming from? And that's because my body knew, even though I was doing all the right things, I still wasn't prioritizing my own time first thing in the day, or making the decisions. So this is a little bit deeper than just those thoughts. But if you not only think those things, but you also neglect your body, it can be really catastrophic to your self-esteem and your mindset, because your body already doesn't feel good, but yet you can't stop those patterns from doing it. And so that's why these first 3 steps are like in preparation, and also a start of your spiritual journey. But these 3 steps prepare you to actually delve deep into spirituality, because it's a big world. There are many different things you can try. And so getting these foundational steps in will keep you grounded when you decide to jump into the spiritual pool. And so to activate your total body makeover, start with clean eating and moving your body. I highly suggest yoga. Yoga was the bridge to my spiritual journey. And I mean, I'm just so happy that I started. I'll have to share how I got Started with yoga one day, but pretty much, long story short, I was already a fitness instructor. I was still burned out. And when I say it bridged the gap from like overthinking to finding peace within myself, it literally was the catalyst to where I am today. Um, Even feeling confident in speaking on this video about spirituality, it's taken me a lot to get here, but I'm super happy. So I'm just going to recap the 3 foundational steps to starting your spiritual journey, and then I'll talk on step 4, and then you can go have fun. And so the first step was eradicating your past, or clearing the murky waters. You just want to get clear and you want to release. This is a great time to do motherhood wounds or abandonment wound releasings. I like to call them burn-in releases because that's what they entail. The second is the mindset reset. So we are reworking our mind to believe the better thoughts, the thoughts we do believe, the thoughts that serve us. And then step 3 is your total body makeover, is when you get at least some type of maintenance or routine in taking care of your body. Like I said, whether that's running, yoga, whatever it is, your body needs movement, it needs clean food, and it needs water, it needs rest. So think of your total body makeover as how you take care of yourself. And if you ever need any help coming up with a plan, I do offer divine healing sessions where I help you come up with a self-care plan that will help you maintain this total body makeover, or just pretty much a total body reset from some of the stuff that you've gone through, whether it was programs, yo-yo dieting, etc. And so when you do those 3 steps, it sets you up to be pretty grounded to open the book of spirituality because it can really be like, it's a vast world. So I like to call this step self-discovery and activating your spirituality. So when you're grounded and taking care of yourself and your mind is in a better place, it's much more easier to get to know yourself because you're not being overcritical with the shadow work, or your mindset's not fighting you, trying to do something new. And this is a really new world to start trying things like energy work, like Reiki, working with the chakras, crystals, meditating, activating your own intuition, because we all have intuition. You could be your own intuitive reader. That's not some type of magic that only some people have, but it's beautiful. And when you are grounded, you can also get to know yourself and trust that you're on the right path. So this is where I totally suggest you dive into your birth chart, look at your signs, find out your doshas, see what works for your body. You may fall in love with Kundalini like I did. And like I said, yoga and meditating just in general, the spiritual realm is so big. That's why it's important for those first 3 steps. And so I have a few tips of caution when starting your spiritual journey. Don't get stuck in shadow work. That's what the step 1 was all about, is getting clear on that past and moving through it. Because I see so many people getting stuck in their shadow work, and they turn their spiritual journey into a kind of terrible loop of not even self-awareness, but self-criticism. Like they're picking themselves apart over everything instead of just loving themselves all the way around. Because that's what a part of shadow work is. It's not just about finding these negative qualities and getting rid of them. It's seeing why you act, or what makes you act that way, and then still having compassion for that person, because anytime you're hard on yourself, things are not going to feel good, right? And then so my second tip to caution is rushing. So like you eradicate your past in one day and think it's all done. It's not. Your spiritual journey is a journey. So the minute you start step 1, or if you're on step 4, or whatever step you're on it. Just enjoy the journey. I suggest at least waiting a week or 2 before trying something new. And that comes into my last tip of word of caution, is overconsumption. Our phones are like literal little computers. And Google will tell you everything. YouTube will tell you everything. Yet I find that we can over inundate ourselves with information. I did this with myself, trying to read my birth chart, my doshas. It had me running around everywhere, when if I really just stuck with one thing it would make more sense to me. And so I've learned that. I'm about 4 years into my journey, but this last year truly solidified it for me, and like having the structure, allowing myself to have space to enjoy one divination or one thing I'm learning. Like right now I'm totally into tarot, and I'm allowing myself to just be into tarot right now, moving into Kundalini very soon. But this is the beauty of your spiritual journey, is when you allow things to unfold naturally, it feels really good. And so that's pretty much it. I will say this. If you're interested in all 4 of these steps, but you're still like wondering how you can do it in a structured way, I invite you to check out my online course, Activate Your Divine Light, that walks you through each 4 of these steps for 2 weeks, so you're not rushed, and you can actually do this at your own pace. So whether it takes you the 8 weeks or more, once you are signed up, you have forever access, and you can always restart your journey or start your journey with it. The Eradicate Your Past, there are motherhood wound rituals in there, abandoned wound releasement rituals, and there's also another one in there. So module 1 has all those rituals that will help you burn and release, and module 2 has practices and guided meditations and affirmations to help you move past those mindset beliefs that are holding you back. Module 3 is the Total Body Reset, where I teach you yoga, I teach you about clean eating. And then module 4 is all about activating your spirituality. I go into all the spiritual things, and like hopefully I find that you find something you love in there to start your journey with. So it's super affordable. There are payment plans. You can pay in full and save some money. Whatever you like, I made it accessible to any queen on her journey. The link is in the description. And I would love to know what was your biggest takeaway of this video, and comment 3 magic wand emojis if this helped you gain a little bit more information on starting your spiritual journey. Please like, share, and subscribe this video for another queen who may be wanting to start her own spiritual journey, and just to let YouTube know that you like my videos. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.